Have you heard this name? Demosthenes? He's a Greek thinker. Okay, we'll go fast. Demosthenes, a very, very nice personality. He was a political advisor of the Greek king, King George V, I think, 5th or 6th. He was a political advisor. He lived somewhere in the 620 something, that time, century. And this Demosthenes was born to a very, very, very rich man. Rich parents with a huge property. But unfortunately, when he was born, his mother died. And when he was still an infant, his father also died. So he had his grandparents who were quite old and weak. So all the property was managed by 3 of his uncles, his father's brothers. So who took advantage of the situation? This little boy, this infant, who was actually the sole heir to all the property, was deprived of all care. He was treated very badly, no food, no proper education, and the uncles usurped all the property and enjoyed like anything. And this boy didn't even know that he was the actual heir to all this property. He was treated badly. He was always afraid. He was timid because he lived in constant kind of terror by his uncles. They were terrorizing him, shouting at him, and demoralizing him. He was made fun of. He had nobody to give him love, no mother, no father, nobody to encourage, nobody to love, nobody to even ask whether he needed something. So constant deprivation created a kind of fear in the child. At the age of 5 or 6, imagine the stress the child went through before he was even 5 or 6 years old, because of the constant fear of his uncles and deprivation and malnutrition, everything, physical, emotional, all types of problems. He developed a type of articulation problem, a speech problem. There's a name for that, I don't remember the name. That is a type of condition where you want to say something, but your muscles suddenly fail you, the tongue muscles fail you, you say something else. So you try to say something, it sounds like something else. So that was a type of speech problem he developed, and people used to make fun of him. He was given a nickname, people would make him speak and then laugh. So he became a laughing stock. And then he was again in great pain and fear. So he developed a kind of voice which was very, very meek, very shrill, very weak. People could hardly hear him if he was 5 feet. So that was one problem. He had stammering. He could not speak fluently. He had stammering and that speech articulation problem and voice problem and health problem. He was very weak, very thin, and very diseased, and so many problems he had. He used to have headache. He would have fits and fall unconscious now and then, and all that. Name it. He had every problem. You can understand what an orphan or a artificially orphaned child was facing. So this was the condition of his life, and the people who read his horoscopes told, it seems, he has a very, very ordinary life. He will get nowhere in life. And this was the condition of Demosthenes till he was 16 years old. Till 16 years old, 10th standard, you can say. So when he was 16 years old, one day he was walking on the streets all alone with his hair unkept and with shabby dress, and he met an old man, a man who knew his father and grandparents well. That old man talked to him. Demosthenes, why are you like this? Why don't you dress well? Come sit here. He spoke nicely to him and said, don't you know all this property belongs to your father? You are the heir of all this. You should live like a prince. Why are you like this? Why are you so demotivated? That was the first time Demosthenes heard somebody say something good to him. There was a twinkle in his eye. He was motivated. First thing he realized, he is a heir to that property. So now next is how to get it back. He realized that he is being misused. He is being taken advantage of. So now he was thinking of what shall I do? That's all. That was the only word of motivation he got from outside. Then his life changed. He started thinking. Till then he was like this. His body language was like this. Completely given up. Now his life changed. He started thinking, oh, I am not born to a beggar. I am not a beggar. I should do something. I should get justice. He started thinking. And then he was going on the street wondering what he has to do, what he can do. Because he was still a child after all. And his uncles were quite powerful, more mature, more smarter than him, worldly wise. So he was going around thinking, what shall I do? Then he saw so many people had gathered on the street. in a street corner, and one man was, a very popular orator was giving a speech, a political speech. You know, political speeches attract more people, right? For anybody, particularly when you are a good orator. So he saw hundreds of people had gathered. They were all listening to the speaker. The speaker was speaking beautifully. Demosthenes also was listening in rapt attention. 5 minutes he saw the speaker, listened to him. He forgot himself. Then suddenly he came to his senses and looked around. Now he was looking at the people. The people were looking like this, completely engrossed in the speech. Now Demosthenes was thinking, if I can speak like him, I think my work will be done. That's all. He decided that he is going to be the best orator in the world. Sankalpa, we say. That was a sankalpa he did. Before puja we do one sankalpa. The Purohit does everything. We are very busy with the phone and shaking hands with friends. There's a sankalpa in the beginning. So he had the sankalpa on mind. I am going to become a good orator. Now see the situation he was in. He had stammering. He had articulation problem. And his voice could not be heard. He was deceased. He was almost illiterate because his education was also not properly taken care of. Nobody to care for him, nobody to encourage, nothing he knew, no content knowledge, no background knowledge. He didn't know what it is to speak, how to speak, nothing, no training, nothing. But he had this sankalpa to become an orator. Now he started working out. He went to that old man again and asked, what shall I do to become a better speaker? He said, go to a doctor and tell about your problems. This boy did not even have money for that. He was so rich, but no money. But he went to some doctor. The doctor gave him some medicines. Then he said, there is no cure for your problem. You are born with this defect. They say, mane maddu, some home medicine, they say. There's a type of a chemical stone. Banachkallu antivi, Kannadadalli, Banachkallu. Even now here in Karnataka they use. There's a type of stone. You should rub the stone on your tongue or keep it under your tongue and speak long sentences. If you do that, your stammering will go. This is what people say. It is not a verified methodology. You can try that. That was enough for Demosthenes. One ray of hope. He brought that stone somewhere, kept it under his tongue and started speaking. People were laughing at him at home, in his house. So he used to go to the seaside, stand there all alone and keep trying to speak. And he would imagine, I am speaking so loud that it is louder than the roar of the sea waves. He would imagine and try to shout. He would get cough. And his voice would fail him, but he would cry, try again fail, again cry, again try again. He had this will to keep on going. And then he saw he did not enough. His breath was very weak, his lungs were weak. So he started climbing a nearby hillock every day. Climb up, climb down, climb up, climb down. Exercise, work, walk, speak, roar, shout, everything. Untrained. It's a very nice story. I think you should make a movie with this. Such a nice, it's a real story. And he did everything and anything he thought of. And then in a magical way, miraculous way, in 1 or 2 years, his voice improved, his stammering reduced, his articulation problem disappeared. Now Demosthenes realized that he could speak like anybody else. But that was only a short-term goal. His goal was to speak like nobody else. His goal was quite far away. Now he thought, what should I do to speak like an extraordinary person? I need a lot of content knowledge. So he went back to the public library. He went there, collected lots of books, started reading them. Till then, whatever his teachers told, it never went to his brains. But now, it was he who decided to read. So he started reading. He read a lot of books, tried to understand them, made notes, and started speaking about them. He used the basement of the house so that people don't disturb him, a cellar which was full of unwanted things and lot of dust. But he preferred there because he wanted lot of solitude. He wanted to be unto himself. And the boys around would make fun at him because he would talk to himself. So people started saying, Demosthenes is also gone mad. He had other problems. That is what people were saying. And he took advantage of that. He didn't go and explain to them that no, nothing has happened. No. He was not that type of a person. What he did, he started pretending to be mad. Anybody came near him, he would throw stones and chase them away. And he shaved his head half and pretended to be a madman, wore robes, and always kept aloof unto himself. And he used to spend all his time reading. His story says that he spent about 12 to 14 hours reading the best of literature, philosophy, politics, whatever came his way. He would make notes and speak about that. And he would make his own very independent analysis about that. He read the politics from the past till his contemporary times. And he would stand in front of a broken long mirror. Imagine that he is speaking to thousands of people and make beautiful gestures and speak. So people thought he is really gone mad. So people kept away from him. But Demosthenes was doing something else. So he overcame all his obstacles alone. And it seems 4 years, something is wrong with this. 4 years, after 4 years, he was now 20 years old. 4 years people forgot Demosthenes. They thought I don't know, we've never seen that poor chap. I think he's died or almost going to die. After 4 years, one day he emerged from his isolation. He put on some good dresses. He went to that grandfather, that old man, and took his blessings and said, I'm going to go to the court and fight for my property today. The old man said, I just told you, why don't you it's not so easy. Uncles are rich, you don't have money for a lawyer. How will you do? No, just bless me and come with me. He took the old man along, and Demosthenes walked to the court. He put a case on his uncles. After 15 days, the uncles had to come there. There was a hearing. Everybody gathered there. They were all telling him, come on, Demosthenes, you have to accept facts. Why? At least you are getting some food. You have a place to stay. They will kick you out of the house. Don't do this. Everybody was sympathizing, telling him, giving him very good advice. Advice inverted commas. But Demosthenes was a man of conviction. So when the day came, the court hearing started. The uncles were very happy. They said, oh, this fool is putting a case on us. What will he do? They brought their lawyers. And Demosthenes, the judge asked, where is your lawyer? He said, I am my own lawyer. They all laughed. You are a lawyer. You fool, you don't know anything. He said, no, I'm going to fight myself. And then when Demosthenes' opportunity to stand up and speak came, it seems he gave a 40-minute speech in chaste Greek language. The best speech ever the whole land had heard. 40-minute speech, a 20-year-old boy. He gave a beautiful talk, such a powerful talk, where he explained why the property should come to him. He exposed his uncle's mistakes with proofs, with all data, with all empirical data, whatever he needed. All those not the papers, in those days it was something else. He produced everything, all material, and explained and convinced the judge that he is the sole heir to the property. All the lawyers of the uncles who had all those LLB degrees, ABCD, all of that on their visiting cards, could not tackle Demosthenes all alone. And that was the first day. And the very next day, he was so popular in the whole town, the king invited him, saying, you should be my political advisor. Imagine, in one talk. His life changed.